Hi, welcome back to the NPG trio. Sorry we've been away for such a long time. There is a reason for that. We'll get to that in a second. And I am joined by Mr. Nightchild.
Good afternoon, evening, wherever time it is. I have no idea.
And I would love to be able to say, and here's Mr. Purple Music. But that unfortunately is the reason why we've been away for so long. Mr. Purple Music has decided to hang up his headset for the time being. Unfortunately, and so for a while we weren't really sure what to do, whether to carry on doing these videos, whether to
turn it into a Justin Bieber channel or
a Bieber channel. That's the reason why he left. And we thought a little bit like, it reminded me a bit like recently with the Revolution when they said about, how do you replace Prince? And then they realized, well, you can't, basically. And we thought about, what do we do? Do we have someone else come in, or, to make it 3, or a guest thing? And then we can't fill those shoes, and they're big. So we decided, no, we just, with his blessing, carry on as just 2 of us.
It was either that or introducing a Funko Pop doll, and that didn't work. So
nah, no way. Yeah. I mean, you're going to hear kinds of all sorts of stories, but basically his demands were getting out of hand, weren't they? So,
I think the M&Ms and the fruit bowl, it was one thing, but the limo, all that kind of stuff.
The limo. It was the M&Ms that sent around all these red M&Ms to his house, to get him to do videos. And,
I mean, I was tired of mowing his lawn, really. There comes a point. I mean, who needs a purple lawn anyway? I don't think he needs one anyway.
I'd never seen purple grass before until I've been around there. It's amazing where he gets it from. No idea.
You try shaving a symbol into that. It's practically
I know you spent weeks trying, but so I don't know. So bless him anyway. Well, I know he's watching. He's killing us right now. So we're still calling ourselves NPG Trio because anyway, this video is still he's still here in spirit, because this whole thing has kind of come about from a comment that he left on one of your videos, Jay. And again, this subject and topic of every time something new is announced by the estate, like a release, basically, we have this kind of reaction, I suppose you want to call it, where people are happy and not happy. And obviously, as we know, recently Originals has been announced and is due next week after next, very soon. And again, there was a big outcry of, what's this all about? Or, oh yeah, this is great. Or no, I hate it. What are they doing? And so we thought it's time to come on, kind of rant part 3. Well, I suppose more of a discussion, so that's where we're at, aren't we? So, so Jay, what do you want to say on this to start with?
Well, I was going to change my name to this symbol. This is my name. But before I do that, I think I start off. I think what I'll do is I'll start off. There's a couple of things we did. I think one of them, obviously, with the Prince Army, we ran a poll. Mr. Ants set the poll up, so I should hand it back to you. Actually, let you explain your poll and what the reaction was to your question.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, well, basically on the Prince Army page on Facebook, we posted the poll. Well, I posted the poll asking. I'm just going to get here so I can see it. Asking if everyone was satisfied with the releases so far, basically, and we received 412 votes, and 25% of people were happy with what's happened so far. And a whopping 75% said no, they are not happy with what's happening so far. So it's not even close.
As far as sort of approval figures, that isn't necessarily
it's not good, is it?
Fantastic. I'll also read you the comment Mr. Purple Music left on my channel, but I haven't banned him or anything, so don't worry. So Mr. Purple Music said, I am incredibly disappointed and upset by this release. This is not what we want. This will not appeal to non-Prince fans. This will not keep his legacy alive. This will only line the pockets of all involved. You should be ashamed. This release will no doubt disappear into the ether like the other posthumous releases, Brave, 3121, Planet Earth and Musicology, and especially Piano and Microphone 83, were all commercial failures, and only the die-hard fans bought it out of a sense of loyalty, not because they wanted it. There is no exception. We, the Prince family, will support the release and spend our hard-earned cash. We always do. But open up your eyes, people. This is a joke release. We deserve better. Prince's legacy deserves better. Now, that's Mr. Purple Music's forthright and
strong opinion. Yeah, and
opinion.
it got some very good points in there, though. Definitely about the commercial, the commercial success of these things as well. As I spoke to him earlier, and we were saying that all this stuff is only aimed at the hardcore fans, and there aren't many of us really. We reckon maybe 500,000 worldwide, maybe now. Prince's audience shrunk obviously over the years as he stepped away from being commercial and went on his own, and obviously as people grow older, the audience naturally shrinks. So these releases, who are they aimed at? They're aimed at us. But so how is that going to spread the legacy further than that to make him, so he's here forever? So how are you going to get new people involved, new kids? They're not going to listen to Piano and Microphone 83, are they, or originals? And why are they going to do that for? They need to go back from the start maybe and go right the way through the whole back catalogue. Why don't they, or with these releases, why don't they release some singles, get on these streaming sites and get them into the what are the charts now? I'm out of touch with the chart. iTunes, is it iTunes chart? I don't know, download chart, isn't it, and all that. Yeah. Oh dear.
I thought you were going to say like something like the hit parade or the chart.
Yeah, the hit. Yeah. When's Ready Steady Go coming back on TV?
There are. I mean, obviously before Prince passed, his Twitter was 140,000. You look at some of the releases, certainly look at Hit and Run Phase 1 and 2, and although they had a very unconventional release and they're kind of peer-to-peer, they really sold in, it was difficult to tell exactly, but pretty low numbers. But I think there is a danger, like you say, because you've got the hardcore fans, and I think they're lower end, so I think they're probably, I honestly think it's between 100, 150,000. I think it's even lower, and then you've also got the wider fans, the kind of casual fans. The trouble is, obviously, the casual fan are interested primarily in the hits, and there's been so many incarnations of that. Although to say that, the one thing we haven't had actually is a career hits package, because we've had the fantastic, the original one. I always think of the original one, the kind of one, the early 90s, where you've got the hits and the B-sides, and that's fantastic up to that point. But there was we've got another 20 plus years after that. So I think, we've had obviously Ultimate, and we've had, the very best of Prince, but we haven't had a kind of career package where you could literally spread it out over 6 or 7 or whatever CDs. But I think you're right. How do we introduce, other people into this, or is that just not going to happen? I think certainly on my channel, your channel, you look at the number of people who are sort of 18 to 25, and although there are some people out there certainly pushing that, and who are, you think of off the top of my head, like Chloe Calvin, and there's a number of people who are sort of, of that age, and even the Bali reality, and you look at it and think that's great. And you need them to kind of connect with the people who perhaps didn't see Prince that way around, but you've got to make it commercially viable, which is it's difficult because there's not an overall plan. You were saying something quite interesting earlier about did you say it was the Marvel, how they were planning?
Yes, yeah, this was the point that Graham made. How Marvel, put out their itinerary of everything that they're going to do, and why don't the estate do something like that? Have some transparency, and so everyone knows what's happening, what's coming, when it's coming, rather than the kind of we know there's going to be legacy reissues. They said that, obviously, but what, when they just seem to appear suddenly, don't they, or announced, oh, that one's coming, but why that one now? Why are we not celebrating? Well, we are, but why aren't they celebrating Batman? 30th anniversary. Why didn't they celebrate Lovesexy 30th anniversary? Why do they miss all these opportunities? Something that really the fans would love and want. But we don't do that. We get Rave, which is, as much as it's a lovely package, everything. And I really like the CD one. It was really well done. But why that one now? Then? And
it does seem a bit odd. I mean, like I said, I was happy with Rave in terms of getting Rave out there into, because it was so expensive on eBay, it was hard to get, it was a lot of money, but actually getting an official Rave into. But like you say, it's Batman particularly is a classic example, because I think they're bringing out a reissue or Blu-ray of the film. You think, this has been the perfect time when people's eyes are on Batman to do this. But like you say, we've had 3121 Musicology and Planet Earth, and they kind of came out on the vinyl, and it's fantastic. But then it did sort of drift away. It was just like, here it is.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I haven't seen accurate kind of sales figures of how that did. But there's also other factors, obviously, because first of all, people are just buying less physical media. You've got the vinyl kind of resurgence, but it's still nowhere near the kind of CD levels when we were younger. A lot of people would stream stuff, or they would share stuff online. So it is different in that sense. But I think the way you get around that is to make a package you want to own, something that is, you know, a beautiful object. You get things with it. You get, you know, like we all said, you know, posters and outtakes and B-sides and various things like that. But like you said, the plan, and that's the thing. There's no plan. There's no kind of, we will go through the albums, you know, and
chronologically, or
and kind of and do that. I am positive in the sense of it's whirring into action, in the sense of things are coming out at a faster rate than they were for a long time.
I was just going to say that. There's definitely been more releases, which is great.
I mean, like I said, the 3121 musicology, and we've had the Brave onto a lot of the originals. So there's obviously the book coming out later in the year. There's the Sign of Times, although that's
not estate related.
Not estate related, and it's also a kind of restricted release. In terms of where you can and cannot play it, that's a whole other thing. And I think that's they are coming up, you know, thicker and faster. But the two things I'll say about that is, first of all, other than the originals, I suppose you could say, the other ones have all been things that have already been released. And second of all, every time we sort of hear of the celebration or things like that, we hear of, oh, they showed this live concert, they showed that live concert, but what live concerts have we've had the Syracuse one with the Purple Rain package, which obviously a lot of people had, great, fantastic. The Rave, brilliant again, but that was previously released. But the amount of live material that Prince produced is the greatest live performer of all time, and the amount of DVD releases of fresh stuff that hasn't been released is nothing.
It's shocking, isn't it?
It's not been anything. I mean, there's not been a single time we say we're going to release this. They only said, oh, we're going to officially release an O2 a musicology, hit and run, the hit and run.
I mean, let's just say for instance, I mean, start off, we were talking earlier, again, I was talking to Mr. Purple Music earlier, and we were saying that, you know, especially in this country, there's a lack of big record stores really anymore, with HMV going down the drain again. There's only a very few of them. So straight away, you've got no presence in a shop to attract new people to a product or anything. And so when you want to do a big release, let's say like a DVD or a release or something, say let's take 21 Nights in London, okay? So let's release the DVDs of it, maybe even CDs of it as well. But let's put it on Netflix or something. Let's stream them on there as well or something, or some of these places where everyone's going to see it, where, you know, it makes it a big thing. Maybe do that first and then release the DVD after, like a lot of television shows have done, aren't they? Like Doctor Who or whatever it may be. It's broadcast first. 4 months later, you can go and purchase the Blu-ray or the DVD or something. Why don't we, you know, put on Sky Arts or whatever? Just get some of these concerts, I mean, maybe on there first. Create an event that people want to watch it. Watch it on TV. Wow, that was brilliant. When can I get that? You know, and then release it. You know, well, that could be.
Well, exactly, like you said, you put it on Netflix. I mean, I don't know the figures, but Netflix, you know, huge, millions and millions and millions and millions of viewers. You put that on there, a full-length O2 concert or a hit-and-run concert. People say, oh, you know, I've heard he's supposed to be a great live performer. Perhaps I haven't seen him. You watch that and you think, wow, okay, yes, fantastic, brilliant. Now, like I want to buy the product. I want to find out a bit more about him. And
exactly.
I mean, documentaries you can do a certain extent, but nothing can kind of beat the live performance. You know, and that's the thing that I think has been seriously neglected. I think there's two areas that have been neglected at the moment. That's the live DVDs and performances, and also just in terms of vault material. I mean, you could kind of argue a little bit that originals contain some vault material, but a lot of that is kind of has already made out, you know, its way out of the vault. But you know, the amount of stuff that I know, they all say yes, it takes time, but that's what worries me, because at the moment, obviously, the lawyers are shredding through money at a
alarming rate.
Frightening. I mean, they're talking 10 million, 45 million. Is it 45 million in admin cost, 10 million legal fees? I mean, how in the name of all there is you could possibly spend that much money is just insane.
I mean, Prince managed to do it all on his own without spending hardly anything.
Insane. Prince did it. He ran it, and I don't understand. They say, oh well, you know, the will, but they've actually said the legal people have said also, even if there was a will, it wouldn't necessarily delay all this, because siblings still contest it, such and such, and they still haven't got their hands on it. I never understand, because ultimately, very quickly, it was brought down to the 6 siblings, and they could have sat in a room and said, right, we're going to do deals here. They had 100% control, but then it ended up with just so much legal wrangling, and the lawyers, obviously, with all due respect, won't stop until every penny's pretty much got it, and that's kind of frightening, because you talk about, you want to keep Paisley going, but you want to keep the legacy growing, but it's so frustrating, because you know how much stuff is out there,
Yeah, exactly. But the other thing I was saying as well, we spoke about this privately, with Celebration, and I showed you a little clip and said, have a look at Star Wars Celebration that's just happened. And now this is a different beast. Obviously, Star Wars is a huge, global thing.
I've not heard of this film. Is this a new film?
Yeah, it's some new film. You never heard of it before. Yeah. Anyway, so they have this celebration. Sometimes it's every year. And it moves around the world, different place. I've been to it twice in London, and everybody comes together, and they have panels, and they have reveals, and they have,
Is it just this world, or Tatooine, or just?
It's on Endor. It's a Tatooine. And anyway, so it's really good. But the good thing about it is they live stream loads of it on the official YouTube channel.
Really?
So, all the panels are live streamed. Sometimes if there's a reveal or for certain things, they'll keep that for the people who have paid the money. So there's a little bit of exclusivity. Yeah. But I think this model would be brilliant for a print celebration. I know it's a different scale, but they've got an official YouTube channel. So why can't you live stream some of it on the YouTube channel? Some of the panels, okay, maybe not the live performances. Maybe you want to keep them for people that have paid, or I don't know, but whatever. Just open it up a little bit to give the people who can't, like us over in the UK. It's not all feasible. We've got families, mortgages. You're talking £3,000 maybe or more to go to Celebration to do everything, and frankly, I've got other priorities. So, as much as I'd love to go, so open it up to everyone else who can't go, and even by doing that, you might encourage people to want to go in the future, and to share in it, to make it a bigger thing. And again, more people are going to see it. More people are going to be open to it. Let's have a panel of the revolution. Let's have a panel of whoever is the time, or And
I think there's no reason why you can't have a kind of 3 or 4 DVD celebration set. Actually, you have a celebration, then afterwards you say, here's 3 or 4 DVDs. It's going to have literally film lots of the bands going in, film some of the live panels, film some of the live performances. You don't have to show the whole 2-hour concert. You can show whatever, 45 minutes, whatever. I mean, you've got enough to do that, and afterwards people can buy that, plus they can sort of see the experience and think, oh well, you don't have to give all of it away, but you can start to think, well, okay, I've seen a bit of that, I've seen a bit of this is good. I kind of there's no reason why it would still sell. It just
that's a good idea. They should do that. As you say, just a little bit of everything. Just release that. This is Celebration DVD. A little bit of the live performances, a little bit of the panels. There, another great idea. See, I
think the problem is, we said this before, that the problem is that there does seem to be, I know it's inevitable, there does seem to be this focus obviously on America, because Prince is an American artist and lots of fans in America, but Prince has a huge international following, huge in the UK, huge in Holland, France, Germany, across, pretty much, large parts of the world. He was very, very, very popular, and I think there's this idea that, unfortunately, it does focus very much on obviously not just Paisley Park, but I mean in terms of ordering things from the estate. Obviously, if you're outside, we have these problems where it takes a long time to get any product from Paisley Park, and then you've got a lot of those postage charges which add up, and there are other companies step in, like Rocket Pool, who are really
they're amazing. Yeah,
they've really done fantastic. I just think it's so much more that could be put out there. And like I say, in terms of live DVD performances, there's no reason why there can't be a live DVD from every tour. There was actually a comment on the Prince Army Facebook, and literally one comment from I'm going to name him, Ron Larson. He said, hey Ron, his idea. I mean, this is just one comment. He said he really wants remastered CD sets with the original album, demos and outtakes, a live concert from that era, B-sides from that album. He wants an online shop where fans can pick a live album from each tour and a DVD from the same show. So rehearsals from each year out on CD or DVD, copies of Prince photography from each year, like Jeff Katz photography, Steve Park, original artworks. He likes the idea of releasing posters from the time, promos from each album, Prince albums in the original configurations like Dream Factory and things like that. Glam Stand merchandise from the Vault series. I mean, this is just some of the he does. Yeah, merchandise from each tour, and he's just talking about just a few of the things. And don't get me wrong, they are going in a little bit. There just isn't seem to be an overall plan. It's like, yes, we've got a few T-shirts here. Yes, we're going to re-release this album here. But like you say, it's sort of a bit. I know there's certain deals that it's all a bit fragmented and
yeah, fragmented is the word. That's what I was just thinking. It's like you're just thinking about Planet Earth. You know, that's just come out of the the legacy thing. And to do with that, they re-released a couple of the T-shirts that were sold at the O2, the guitar one and what have you. Just to give the lyrics of the song guitar on it and what have you. And you think, well, why can't that be part of a 21 Nights package? You're just really, you're doing some of it here and a little bit there, but that could have been all one thing. The T-shirt, the album, because it was given away at the concert, obviously.
They had that big concert sort of brochure, what you call it, like a booklet of all, and you could just beautiful pictures, and you could put that all together. Like I said, there's so many bits you could put together in a real package to kind of bring back that time. And it's just frustrating. I know. I always said one of the things they needed to make. First of all, they need to make every album available. Which absolutely, and to be fair, there's still some work to be done on that. I mean, it's still not easy necessarily to get hold of. I mean, it might be on streaming sites, but not in terms of physical product of, say, Slaughterhouse or Chocolate Invasion, or even Crystal Ball isn't the easiest thing to get hold of. So there is still that, and a lot of people have actually been talking about also certain Paisley Park albums that just most of them have kind of fallen out of like Mavis Staples and various they're all kind of just fallen off, and so I think it can be done. The Time album, Ice Cream Castles. I mean, that was quite a nice.
That was really good. Unexpected as well. That just suddenly appeared. So
I just I think it's hard because I know it's easy to criticise this day, and I think they are making definitely some positive moves in terms of
They're trying. But as Graham was saying to me earlier, that again we're in uncharted territory. We're in this has never happened before, where an artist has died and had this much unreleased work, in a vault, and all the stuff that he has released as well. It's never happened before.
That's the thing. You get like an album. They'll say, "Oh, we've got maybe one album," or but Prince has. Well, who?
I know how many. Yeah. Thousands, hundreds, who knows? And as you're saying, that's about the live footage and the rehearsal footage and the,
They were constantly talking in books how he would perform, he'd create videos for tracks, and they said he'd hire loads of dancers. There'd be full budget, big productions, and they just get made and then and never seen. Yeah. So there must be videos out there for tracks we just haven't seen that are ready to go.
Yeah. What are they waiting for, So that's what we're saying. Why don't you tell us? Why? What's the big deal? Tell us when it's going to happen, why it's going to happen, and what the plan is, rather than just kind of, oh, by the way, suddenly, I mean, yeah, great. We are happy things are coming out, and it's exciting when something catches you unawares, like the Sign of the Times thing, although we said it's not them. But even Originals was a shock. We weren't expecting that. It looks a very nice package again, but it's very pricey, the deluxe one, for what it is. And again, I can understand their thinking of that, because it's like one of those. If you read in Prince's biography or something, it's, one of the things you always read, Prince wrote so many songs for other artists, blah 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 blah, and it's one of those that's always written. So in a way, it's nice to go, well, actually, here are those songs that he wrote for other artists. So I can understand that, why they want to do that. It might have been nicer to have that with piano and a microphone as one whole package. I don't know, as a nice box set. More of a thing than what I know the piano and microphone was nicely done again. If you bought the big gatefold thing, whatever but yeah, just the music itself and what there is, it's not a lot for what you're paying for. I don't know.
When you think of what is out there, I mean, if you think of what is out there in terms of what we know of, like the bootleg kind of world, and also in terms of what Prince made in terms of videos, outtakes, various configurations, there's a huge amount out there. and actually very little new stuff has come out of it. Now, they're saying, oh, it's taking time and the legal things have been sorted out. I mean, they have been moving very slowly, I'd put it mildly. But I know I'm concerned that obviously a lot of money is just
being wasted. Yeah.
I mean, the trouble is, you know, I mean, there's rumours about how much, you know, the estate's already gone down in value, and you sort of that is concerning because you need something sustaining.
Yeah.
But the way to sustain that is to obviously get the product out to the fans. But I think you know, getting that involvement. I think the thing is, Prince very much certainly towards the end of his career was very he was engaging with fans probably as much as he'd ever done.
Yeah.
You know, he was on Twitter. He was he's done it throughout his life, to be fair, in terms of the celebration. He would sort of have he wouldn't necessarily continue the product, but he would ask people, you know, what would you like to see? What future projects would you like to see? And I think that, you know, he certainly toward the end of Twitter, he was very much engaging with that. And well, that's another classic example. The piano microphone, the 2016. You know, I mean, most people assumed that would come out
first thing to release. Yeah.
And there's not been a
no. And the longer it goes on, the harder it is to release it. I think because you know, it's like, well, why now? Why, you know, it's very odd.
I know it's a strange choice about the piano microphone 1983. In a sense, it's very strange. I understand they have this. I'm not sure if they're always helpful. This fixation. I think they're trying to appeal to the kind of casual fan. This fixation with Purple Rain. Purple Rain Deluxe, fine. Purple Rain, most successful album. Yes, the deluxe version, fantastic. People love that. Casual fans, fine. Then there's this thing about we'll put everything on purple vinyl. It was Rave, and you think Rave should have been
blue and white.
Yeah, so there's that. So you think, well, what do you know? And then...
go. No, I was just going to say, and the state, if you're listening, when you get round to the Rainbow Children, every track is a colour of the rainbow. Every single track, so the whole thing is like a rainbow. Okay, got it? See? Yes, thank you. Sorry, Carol.
I think the piano microphone 1983 is why they did that. They said, well, you know, we can show the configuration of Purple Rain in 17 days and things like that. But I think that the piano microphone 2016 was a more obvious way to go. And it shows the side of Prince. The argument was, well, piano 1983 shows the side of Prince people, you know, casual fans haven't seen. But the piano 2016 would also have done that. It would have shown Prince as a master piano player, and stripped down in a way that you used to Prince in these big stages. I mean, I remember going, you know, to the news tour, and I said, this is stripped down, this is Prince. And now you look at it, and this looks a full-on production. You know?
Yeah, now it's stripped down at the time.
Yeah, stripped down, and then you thought, God, that will never be stripped down anymore. Then, you know, you ended up with Bear Idol, you know, and then, well, that will never be stripped down anymore. Yeah. Then you put piano on the microphone. Like,
wow.
Yeah, and I think, that's the face of the live stuff. Like I say, yes, in one way we're kind of greedy children in the sense that we want everything, absolutely, and they're doing that. But there is also a time factor, because you like to say there are fans across the board, but there are basically two sets of fans. There's a kind of established fans who are certainly from the demographics getting through channels between, say, 30 to 50, roughly, and possibly, you know, a bit either way. And we've sort of got that chunk of established Prince fans. But we also need to attract, you know, the newer Prince fans. And like I say, how do you do that? You're going to have to do that through Netflix. You're going to have to do that through putting it on television and things like that. You're going to have to do that. And YouTube, it's fine, but the YouTube channel, again, is releasing stuff that has been out there for a while. It's great to have it in one place, and that's brilliant, and it's brilliant they're putting out. And they start to put out a new video each week for a little while, but then that sort of...
Yeah, it's tailed off now. There's nothing new. They only tend to release something now when they release something like an album. So when Rave came out, they did a few of the performances from the concert, didn't they, on the channel.
But even then, it was kind of split from that DVD, wasn't it?
From that DVD, they were just individual, yeah. But the weird thing is, it's like you say, like they purged the Purple Rain thing because they think that's obviously, you know, where the money is, because that's the most popular.
Yeah.
But then they don't aim it at everybody. They don't aim it at the mass market. They just aim it at us. I don't understand that. It's just, if you're going to do that and get Purple Rain out there, then as you say, come on in, release some singles, get some adverts on the TV. I know there was an advert for Purple Rain Deluxe, I think, at the time. I think I saw one, I saw it once. Yeah, I think I did see one advert for it. But it's not, you know, on the radio all the time. You're not fully aware. There's not posters everywhere on a bus you know, when a film's coming out, the promotion's everywhere. Everyone knows when a film's coming out, yeah, a big film or a big album by someone or whatever. So you got to attract new people. That's what you got to do, because otherwise the kids have no idea. They're totally unaware. You know, and they're not going to get on board, are they? So when we're all gone, dead and buried, and we're taking all our print stuff with us, and we're all our memories, we leave it all to the next generation. Oh, what's this then?
Well, that's the thing. I think it's difficult because Prince suffered a bit from, you know, although it's weird because he was an early adopter of the internet,
Yeah.
and he was almost too early in the sense that he was breaking new ground. He was kind of working out how to do things, and you go back to Crystal Ball, and you know, kind of emancipation era. He was very much at the forefront of that, but then he kind of moved away from. He didn't want his, you know, music on YouTube or Spotify because they were paying such small amounts, and you know, and there's important artist rights statement there. But it has sort of suffered because you look at he's starting from behind now. You look at not comparing him in any other way. You look at, say, there's a Michael Jackson video. I can't think which one it was. One of his hits. It was 900 million views. And you look at When Doves Cry with Prince, and I think it's about 14, 15, I don't know, 20. Like it's you know, I know it's starting from way behind, but you know, it's.
So Prince, yeah, he stepped away from you know, the mass appeal that Michael Jackson had. That you know, huge global fan base around the time of the name change. You know, people thought he was mad, and you know, and then you know, the fight with Warner's, and then for us it was brilliant when that Gold Experience era that we loved so much, when it was like this new underground thing that no one knew about. You know, it was cool, and Prince worked it for himself. You know, it worked for him the way he did it, didn't it? Obviously, he had enough in the community to sustain what he wanted to do, to keep the lights on at Paisley. He'd just do a tour. You know, it was working, obviously, and it worked while he was alive, didn't it? You know, it didn't matter. It didn't matter about anybody else. The core fan base were always going to support him, and it was enough to keep it going, and everything was great. Obviously, if he'd have lived and had time to plan his retirement, maybe, or what he was going to do, as you say, in his later years, he was engaging more with people. He was obviously writing this book, trying to find new ways to reveal more about himself to people. Maybe he would have actively sought ways himself to get the kids in, you know, and know about what I did. And this is my story. But obviously, you know, that weren't to be. And now it's left in the hands of people like us and the powers that be.
Things that obviously when Prince was alive, he could, like I say, literally do a tour. He could do musicology. He could bring in 20 million. He could do, you know, 2 shows. He could even do 2 to 3 million. As he said in that concert, you know, I've got to go back to my 3 million a night. And I think he could go back to that kind of, you know, he could pull out 2-3 million in a night's performance. Now, people say with the estate, well, this isn't what Prince would have done. No, but in a sense, they have to do something different, because the big earner Prince had was his live shows. Even people who had not heard a Prince record for years, even people who couldn't tell you. There were people who went to the O2 shows who I kind of casually bumped into, and they said, you know, they didn't know anything about his they didn't know about 3121, they didn't know about musicology. They just said they'd heard Prince was a phenomenal performer. They remember him from the 80s, and he could still be that top live performer. And I think that's the thing, he always had that to pull that in, and that's a lot of money, because no matter what you're up against, he could put in millions, tens of millions through tours. And I think that's the thing. They don't have that anymore. They need, obviously, to replace that. Now, yes, they have got a situation where they've still got Paisley Park. They've still got to kind of run that, and they're doing the celebration, they're doing the tours. But in terms of products, they haven't got new, if you like, you know, even a Vault release isn't going to be a new per se product. It's not going to be something Prince was, you know, a new album like he's working on now. Although you wonder how much of, say, Black is the New Black had been completed. And you know, but they have to do something different. They have to certainly, in a sense, exploit every single thing. And if that means, like I say, if that means Netflix, if that means, I'm not saying they should, you know, put his music out to every single credit card in the world that wants it. I don't mean like that, but I mean in terms of, they need to look at this. Let's get him on YouTube. Obviously, they're getting him on streaming sites, and there's been a lot of work. Kind of, it's not 100% there, but they're getting, let's get that out there. There's still a kind of issue, obviously, with the most beautiful girl in the world, which
ridiculous.
Seems to go on for it's just bizarre. Yeah. I mean, it's so frustrating because, particularly because it's a UK #1, so it kind of being in the UK, it kind of really great.
I know. I did a video about it. Watch it, folks.
Yeah. You do videos? You never said.
Video, yeah. Plugging my own channel. I don't do that. I'm changing my tactics. I'm going guerrilla style now, man. My channel.
And I just think that they've got to do a different thing. Absolutely. But and yes, they're going to have to push harder because they haven't got that live performance. They haven't got those new albums coming out. But they have got something much more than, if you look at, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a great expert or anything, but from what I understand, if you take Michael Jackson, if you take Queen, in terms of what they had in the vault, it's not comparable to the amount Prince had in the vault. I mean, Prince is probably the biggest vault of any modern artist we've seen. So,
I mean, it's one of a kind. Yeah, it's the same.
So, I mean, they have videos, they have full albums, they have
movies.
That's the thing, they have movies. They have, just think in terms of the amount of, Prince filmed everything. That's the frustrating thing. He filmed everything, the hit and run, filmed right close up. Montreux. I mean, Montreux.
Everyone's got that. Yeah.
I mean, Montreux would have just been a perfect Christmas box set, as would the O2, as would there was. You could.
The list is endless, man.
There's not a tour that wouldn't, really. I mean, is there actually an official news tour DVD? I mean,
no.
Even the Diamonds and Pearls.
No.
The video collection. There's little snippets.
Yeah, it was all filmed. Yeah,
it's not the whole thing. And that was filmed.
Yeah. And that was really annoying because they were London shows, and we were there, and I'd love to see the full show, in the proper. I know it exists. I know it exists out there, but the quality is always rubbish, even when it's been cleaned up.
When you see the Live for Love section, and you think,
man.
And you see that, and also those shows which went under the radar perhaps a bit, Act 2, obviously the Ultimate Live Experience, the Gold Experience tour, that really went down. I think a lot of people missed out on the Love for One Another charity tour. That kind of era. There's obviously lots of One Not Alone again.
I'd love to see those.
Yes, they've got we've got the
crappy quality Vegas thing. Yeah,
it could be so much more, and even then, just having the extras with it, and it's frustrating, I think, and there's just so much.
I'd love to see the whole lot from the start. I'd love to see the early, whatever exists of the earlier shows cleaned up and done well. From Dirty Mind. I don't know how far back they went. I don't know if his first tour was filmed at all. I know obviously Dirty Mind shows were, weren't they? And Controversy onwards. I'd love to see those shows. One of those shows, a 1999, a Triple Threat tour. I'd love to see that with the Time and Vanity and everybody. It'd be great. A parade. Again, there's bits of parade that have been seen, birthday performance and all that stuff. And, some of them are amazing. You've got, well, get this out there. It all exists. It's maddening, isn't it? It's really maddening.
I mean, there is so much stuff out there that you think, I don't understand. I mean, I know they've got to, everything is kind of worked out financially, how they're going to do it. But the ultimate thing is, when it comes down to it, they need to bring in an income. And yes, I think it's going to have to be almost an income from 1,000 different ways. They're going to have to look at every thing they can.
Well, this is where it's where you get into the advertising thing, don't you? Where it's like using it on credit cards and his music and in movies and all that, which causes arguments and another whole other can of worms opened up. What's acceptable?
It's kind of weird because I think in a movie,
let's go crazy on a credit card.
Yeah, I mean, well, they had Michael Jackson, "Don't stop till you get enough," and you think that's not a very responsible. I think with movies, I don't have a problem in the sense of if it's done,
in respect.
Yeah, I mean, Prince, he did the "I'll Do Anything" soundtrack until the film completely changed. He's contributed songs. You think of Showgirls. He contributed 319 and Rip Hop Go to Zipper. There's a lot.
Girl 6.
Yeah, When Doves Cry on the Romeo and Juliet with DiCaprio. And so I think he was.
And obviously Happy Feet as well.
I mean, he won an award for that one. What did he won? I mean,
yes.
I mean, was that the one where he turned up? He got caught in traffic, and Hugh Grant had to sort of say Prince was caught in traffic, and they did. And Prince turned up later. and they sort of said, yeah, Prince got this up, thank you for that. But I think, so he wasn't averse to that. So I think in a film, that's good. I know there's lots of, there's a few Netflix series. I think there's One Country, obviously when the elites are involved, but there's certainly, I think using it films, I don't see, I think they have used it in the, one of the Kingsman.
Yeah, one of the Kingsman's got Let's Go Crazy, I think, at the beginning I saw. Yeah.
And obviously Black Klansman has Mary Don't You Weep.
Yes.
So, I think obviously Spike Lee is obviously, he'll continue.
Yeah, because again, that's a great way to get people into the music when you think about it. I know a lot of people complain, go, well, it's not what people do, or it's not what but think about it. If one of his songs is on a huge Hollywood blockbuster film, everyone's going to go and watch. All the young people are going to go and watch it, and then I don't know about you, but I always used to watch the credits at the end of the film and see who the music was. But,
I did. Yeah, and also, like I say, to use Spike Lee as an example, I'm fairly confident Prince were here and Spike Lee asked, Prince would be quite interested.
Yeah.
They seem
But if a big film uses one of his songs, it's going to entice people in, isn't it? If you go, let's get one of his songs on there, and a lot of people go and see it. If it's a film that makes billions at the box office and it's got a Prince song on the soundtrack, then brilliant. If it's going to bring people in, then that's great. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think it's just there's so much more that can be done. And like you say, you want to. It's a difficult balance because yes, you've got the hardcore fans and you can sell them a certain product, and you've got the casual fans, but you can satisfy both of those. This is not. It's unprecedented in terms of the Vault because they've got this extra bonus, but in terms of other artists, this has been done. With other artists, it seems to be taking a wild settle out. I know legally it's just going on and on completely unnecessarily for as long and as much money as they are spending on that. I mean, it's terrifying. I know, obviously, Paisley Park was sort of, what is it, 87 kind of, But it terrifies me that to this, I know, obviously, money, inflation and everything like that, but we have spent, since Prince died, more money on legal fees than it costs to build Paisley Park, which, when you think about it, is just ridiculous.
Shocking, isn't it?
That's just the legal fees. The administration fees, like 45 million. I mean, that is, you could do musicology 2 years in a row, probably. It's just, you just wonder where it all goes. And you don't want that mistake, because once that money's gone, that money's gone.
Yeah, then what? Exactly. Then they're relying on what they're selling, then, are they, or what they're getting through Paisley Park, which I don't think is going to be enough.
Well, this is the problem with Paisley Park. It's brilliant because it worked for Prince in terms of where it was, obviously, his connection to Minneapolis, but it also worked in terms of, I think, being removed and to his kind of perfect little sort of kind of I don't know what the word you would use, but this kind of closed off. Beautiful places where he could create and really make that music on his own. But in terms, obviously, of tourist things, it suffers a bit from being
where it is.
I mean, it had to be there because that's where Prince's creative powerhouse, had to be. He had to be there. I can't imagine Prince being a kind of, middle of London studio or something like that. I think he had to be there. But like I say, in terms of you've got to pull people in, and the thing is, you've got to constantly then have things. Certainly with celebration, you've got to make it bigger and better each year. You've got to get people involved, and
to want to go back for the people that have been before. You've got to have a reason to go again, haven't you? So, how many times do you want to go on the tour? It's like going to the local museum. Once you've done it once, you go, well, I want to go again next week. I know this is Prince, obviously, that's different, but you could never get bored of going around Paisley Park, I would imagine, just being in that building. But I don't know.
I think, I mean, it's weird because in some areas, like say in terms of books, there's been a amount of books. I mean, there's still, I think, a lot of. It's kind of weird because there's been a lot of books come out, although there are a lot of books that I kind of like that don't exist yet. But I think there's still, there's still a lot of voices we haven't heard from, a lot of people involved in Prince's world that we haven't heard from. I think, there needs to be a kind of, we need to have a wide
Diamonds and Curls Volume 2, yeah.
I have, is it 3 part, isn't it?
3 parts, yeah. Well, I've probably got a crowdfund for part 2. And
I am halfway through that.
I've heard that there's some toenails on offer this time as well.
I'm halfway through that, so I shall reserve my
You've read it. You've read part 1, haven't you?
I read half of it. Yeah.
You read half of it. It was that good. Wow.
No, I'm halfway through. I haven't stopped.
Apparently you can read it in a couple of hours, front to back.
What can I say?
Well, yeah, it's that good. You've only read half of it. Wow.
I was reading on my phone. I just
And this day, Prince went to the toilet, and then I heard him moaning to someone, and then
I think I was reading it, and then I got this weird message from some Mr. Ants guy, and it just put me off, and I didn't know what was going on, so I just got
blame it on me. Sorry, Kim. Sorry, Kim.
That's weird, because actually when I saw it at the I'm going to get off a tangent here. When I saw it at the Cafe de Paris, she's actually she really does kind of fill a room, like in terms of her personality.
Yeah.
She's like really bubbly and really excited and funny, and it's quite weird because I don't know, it's I don't know, it's just something that isn't quite sitting right with some people, and I can understand. I think it's a difficult one.
You're not sure where the motives lie with that one, I don't think. You don't like to, no one wants to judge people that you don't know. She could be the loveliest person in the world. So, and we're not judging her or whatever. We're just judging the book and what she's. Well, we're not. It's telling the book review. We're not supposed to be doing this book. We're just saying that the book leaves a lot. It leaves a lot to be. Yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. Other people have reviewed it, so
Other views are available.
Other reviews are available, and we agree with those reviews. So.
I think it's difficult because I know we want everything as quick as possible, and but it does feel like there's certain areas that just aren't happening. And don't get me wrong, some people react differently. Some people have said to me, I've heard people said to me, well, I'm just going to accept what I've got, whatever I've got, I'm happy with, and if I get anything else, then I'll be considered that a bonus. Some people have sort of retreated into the world. I think Purple Music as well, that we've got to almost retreat into the world and say, well, I'm going to enjoy the live performances I've got, I'm going to enjoy the outtakes I've got, I'm going to just have that, and that's what I'm going to do. I perhaps in a sense we can't ever truly really be satisfied in sense of what they can give us. Maybe in some ways, if you've had any bootlegs, we've been a bit spoiled, because we've already had them. But also perhaps we just want something we'll never get. Perhaps we want that feeling of a brand new album that can't really ever come. And so it's difficult. But I think certainly I think his live needs to be DVDs from every era. Absolutely. We need to get the performances out there, because it's the live stuff that just really is where he excels, and no, I've got to say, and looking forward, I don't know what anniversaries, kind of seen as they keep missing them. It's only Batman's anniversary next week. How many years? 30 years. Is there an anniversary coming up? I think it's Batman's anniversary. It's 30 years next week, is it really? Really? There's an anniversary coming. I'm getting cramped now. It's going to have to... anyway, back what we said.
So yes, when you say you look at all the future releases, what they could, what anniversaries are coming up, because they keep missing out on the ones that have already gone. What could they release next year? Or what is due? That'd be Graffiti Bridge next year, wouldn't it? It would be 30 years, won't it? Now, come on, Graffiti Bridge. Let's get the movie out on a Blu-ray and a DVD and the album and on vinyl and get it all. Is it going to happen?
It's not going to happen. It's
survey said.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating, I think, because we know how much there is. There is a difficulty because, like I say, I really would love to know in terms of the average casual fan or the wider public. It's difficult to know because we're kind of in a bubble in a sense of Prince fans, and it's difficult to gauge how big the following is. And I think that's part of the problem, because he's always talked about in terms of great artists, and he's always talked about in terms. Certainly, when I was younger, it was always Prince, Michael Jackson, Madonna, and you have these big stars, and yet, I'd say in terms of kind of numbers, certainly for the last 20 years, you need to sort of think, well, he was making more money from each sale, but how big is that fan base now? How big is it's very difficult to tell. I mean, I suppose obviously you had 2007, the Super Bowl, but even then it was weird because it was like the biggest audience he'd ever played to.
Wow.
and then you had obviously the O2 shows, huge. But then, you know, obviously Hit and Run was brilliant, but it was much smaller venues. It was sort of, you know, a few thousand. Certainly in London, it was like 2,000 to 3,000. But the hype for that was huge. I mean, we know the queues,
yeah, absolutely, yes. And it was the thing to go to. Everyone wanted to go, yeah.
And everybody talked about it. The press wrote about it. It was he was getting the best reviews of his life. They say, "Oh my God, we forgot how amazing he was. He was brilliant. He's just fantastic. He's, you know, a great legend." And those shows would have. I mean, had that DVD been released a few months afterwards, towards the end of the year, it would have sold hugely. You know, it really would have done. And that is frustrating because there's so much probably in there. It's like you say, it just needs an overall plan. I think the trouble is, well, part of why we do what we do when we started really was because at that time Prince's music wasn't even allowed on YouTube mostly.
No.
You know, you couldn't, you know, you weren't allowed to you didn't see it. You just didn't see it. Prince didn't want it on there. And and the trouble is, most people I met, if they were younger, they said, "Oh right, well, I'll just look on YouTube." And of course, at the time,
there was nothing. Yeah.
So you know, I think that's why it's important to kind of continue to talk about the whole thing and to talk about all the aspects of Prince, because it gets forgotten about. But it's I've got to say at this point, I've got to say that you know, we're quite lucky, I think personally, in terms of the creative community of who we have. We do have quite a number of people who you know, put a lot of work in to do that, and you know, it's all there's a lot more work than you'd think.
Oh yes.
Look at my videos. There's a lot more work than you'd think there was, and it's you know, there's a lot of people putting in a lot of effort to kind of talk about Prince and to enjoy Prince, and it's a good community on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, and that is encouraging, and there is a lot of love for that, and I think that all those people who do that, and there are people like Violet Reality and Prince's Friend who are talking to people, interviewing them to make sure these stories. There's something actually Casey Rain said to me from the Violet Reality. He said, you know, these stories will, otherwise they'll get lost. They'll just kind of disappear.
Yeah.
By not talking to people who work with Prince, if they don't tell people their stories and we don't get it out there, it'll just disappear and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And you know, we won't hear these stories, and we often hear from a certain amount of voices, and that's fantastic. But there's lots of stories regarding
untold.
Prince,
Yeah.
And people we don't always think of. So I think, you know, that is important. Prince, I think he was a shark creatively. You know, he had to keep moving forward. He wasn't particularly interested in looking back. I mean, I think
he wasn't. No.
I mean, although he had the hits and he played a lot of hits, I think he was much more interested in what he was creating.
Yeah.
You know, the new. And I understand. I think as an artist, you have to do that, because otherwise you just become a kind of tribute to yourself.
Absolutely. Yes.
But the problem is he needed someone perhaps to sort of take that off his plate and say, well, you're not interested in looking back and doing all that, you know, but now the estate have to do that. They have to you know, really do the things perhaps Prince wouldn't.
It's a good idea. He could have done that, couldn't he? He could have said, got a team in and said, look, the deal with my legacy, I'm not interested in looking back. It's like you say, Purple Rain Deluxe he didn't want to do. It's only because like it was part of the deal, wasn't it? Whatever, he's re-signing with Warner's and kind of begrudgingly, you get the feeling he begrudgingly did it, you know, like so you know, you deal with all that. I'm moving forward. I'm always moving forward, so you do all that for me. He could give it a final approval as he would, and make sure it's all up to spec and what have you, but it would have been really good, that and he could have carried on just, you know, dealing with the here and now, which is what he loved. I remember him saying with the Emancipation Minute, where the album you know, it was 3 CDs, how to fill up a whole show, and he'd love to do that the whole time. He said, but Willie wants to sing Kiss.
Yeah.
But Willie wants to sing Kiss with the people.
I think that's the thing. I mean, even with Ultimate Prince, I think they said, you know, his only involvement pretty much was they wanted to do it chronologically, because he said he wanted, you know, the extended tracks on one side, on one CD, and the original tracks on the other. But I think he was just not. He was not somebody who looked back too much. I think that's important. But I think his job was creating the art, and now the estate's job is to, you know, really get that out there. Now, don't get it wrong. This could change if it because at the moment I think there's a problem with it, with the heirs aren't really, they haven't really taken control of it. They haven't got control of it. There's still loads of legal problems, and I think that, you know, you just want that sorted out as soon as possible.
Yeah, so it can move forward. Yeah.
I mean, it's slightly concerning, I suppose, in the sense of it's obviously with the heirs at the moment, and then I don't know legally. I mean, does it then go to the heirs of the heirs?
Gosh.
I don't know. I mean, I was saying a lot of the heirs are probably
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what happens then? Yeah, when they pass on. So
yeah, it's you want it to be.
you want it secured. Yeah,
They're
definitely.
still bringing out new, Hendrix stuff in sort of quality and stuff like that. You just want
Yeah.
to kind of speed up, especially nowadays, because a lot of stuff is digital. It can be done a lot quicker, perhaps.
Yeah.
I would ask them. I always ask them to kind of, definitely just reach out to that community, because the community we have, we can spread the word in 2 seconds and get that out there. And
Absolutely, and as you pointed out earlier, on the Facebook page, so many people have got great ideas about what they'd like to see, that should be taken on board and listened to. Because they say, we need this secured. We need to know what's happening, and we need to get it all out there, and we need to get it available to the mass public. We need it to be easily accessible. If I want to buy a copy of Dirty Mind on whatever format, I should be able to just go and get it wherever I want to get it, not have to import it or pay a stupid amount or whatever. As you say, brilliant, Rocket Pool. Thank God for those guys. Because if you were left with the estate, I wouldn't be hardly buying anything. I'm sorry. Paisley Park is so expensive to get stuff into the UK. I'm just thankful I already own it all.
Well, I mean, like I said, there's the issue of how long it takes, and there's the issue of the customs charges. I know that's not all within their. But there are ways to facilitate that. Like I say, even if it is doing a deal directly with Rocket Pool and saying, look, we will
why don't they? Yeah.
ship you this huge crate of print stuff.
Yes.
So I think, like I say, I think the real key thing is also the gateway stuff. Like I say, the Netflix and Amazon Prime, things like that, movies, things like where you can get new fans into print, and I think that's incredibly important. I think YouTube does that to an extent. I think certainly and also it's interesting when you see we sort of see people in the community when we go to a kind of the gallery show or a print related artist, and you see the community. They are an amazing community, but like you say, you don't know how big they are. It's you often get to see quite a lot of people, and they're perhaps smaller than we like to be.
I know, exactly. Yeah, how often do you see different people? It's always like a room full of the who's who's. Oh, there's so and so, there's so and so. So is that all? Oh dear, I'd like to see some new places. And
it's
we don't know.
I'd love to know how people sort of just get into prints recently. How do they get into it?
Yeah, I mean, put that in the comments. If anyone's watching this who's recently, just say, let us know.
So someone might be watching it, but I don't know.
Someone might watch it. Oh, you never know. You might get 1 or 2 views if we're lucky. But,
I'll put my thumbs down. Where is it?
Yeah. Why does that exist? I mean, come on. You could put. I'm not joking. You could just put the Super Bowl performance out there with nothing else. You don't have to put anything else on it, and it would get a thumbs down. And it's stupid, but it would, because there just seems to be a campaign, I think, by certain people to thumbs down anything. It's just it's a waste of space. It's pathetic. It's just negative rubbish. We don't need it. I don't need to know you don't like it. Go away.
I want to actually. I'm gonna look now. I want to see. Okay, let's do the NFL, the Super Bowl. How many thumbs down do you reckon Prince is? Let's have a look. It's got.
He's going to say none now and make me look stupid. Yeah.
31.5 million views. Right.
Wow. Okay.
186,000 thumbs up. 5.6 thousand thumbs down.
Wow. There you go. 5.6 thousand people don't like the greatest ever Super Bowl performance. What is there not to like? I mean, really? Come on. That's just what I'm saying. That's just ridiculous. That's just people, I hate Prince. Don't dislike. So, okay. Yeah. Move on. I ignore the thumbs down anyway now. I don't never look at it. When I first started videos and, and someone watches you go, wow, I've had a view. And then you look at the thumbs up and thumbs down, but I don't bother anymore now, Yeah, once I get more than 5 views, I'm happy, so.
I think the only thing that gives me hope is the top comment on underneath the Super Bowl video is that They got it backwards. This was the Super Bowl at a print show, not the Super Bowl show. Yep,
I love it.
pretty much.
That's great. That's
Pretty
brilliant.
much right. But yeah,
They could have said that like the Brit Awards, couldn't they? This was the
Yeah.
Brit Awards print show. Yeah. Fantastic.
I don't know whether to feel. I do feel slightly more optimistic that they're accelerating the rate of releases. I think that's good. There's stuff coming out. We've got lots of stuff coming out this year.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, we've had Ray, we've had the vinyl, we've had, you know, we've got with the originals, we've got the memoirs, which will be interesting to see what state they were in. I mean, I've seen they did a really nice one, Kurt Cobain, and they sort of had his handwritten lyrics and notes, and it was quite an intimate thing. You sort of look at it, and but I don't know what state kind of Prince we've got. I think it's rumoured close to Purple Rain. I don't know, but he was at the Super Bowl, didn't he? But
he wanted. He only got as far as Purple Rain, didn't he? Apparently, ironic, isn't it?
This is almost the tragedy again, because
I know everything rolls around Purple Rain, you know, and it's interesting because they're saying they're going to put handwritten notes of the film or whatever and stuff, but I wonder if it'll be the same stuff that they showed at the exhibition at the O2, because they had handwritten pages of notes of Purple Rain there. So I wonder if it'll be the stuff we've already seen or more. I don't know. Not sure. There were notepads, weren't there, in the cases, sketches of the coats and writing about scenes, and there was the scene, you know in Graffiti Bridge where Morris Day eats the chili or whatever it is, you know. He was going to do that in Purple Rain. I was reading Prince's notes in the Purple Rain, the scene that he's saying about Morris eating the chili, you know.
I love the fact he kept that. Yeah. He kept it.
Yeah, he never forgot. I'll use that next time. Yeah. Brilliant.
That's interesting, because something, I can't remember what was said. I think it might have been Travel Music. He said that you have this 2 or 3 year period where you see, like we've seen the NPG a couple of times. You see, we got to see the Revolution, which is quite a sort of cathartic moment. You see the exhibition, and you have these things, but then for 2 or 3 years you have those. Then after that,
what next? Yeah.
It becomes a bit different, because those artists go off, obviously, and rightly so. They do their own thing, and it becomes, and obviously the celebration I think is very positive. That's growing. From what I saw of people this year, it seems to be raised again a lot, and it's getting better, and I think it's becoming more of a thing. I think it's becoming established, and I think it's becoming a real place for people to meet, and I think that's
that's a good thing.
Take a lot of stuff on board for that, so I think that's great. That's encouraging, and it's just, like I say, it just needs to be a bit of an overall plan, because it does feel we're going from one release to this release to this release. I mean, if you think about it, it's sort of, you could argue 3121, Planet Earth and Musical, yes, they're of an era, but then we sort of went to rave. Now we're going back to a kind of compilation of various bits. Yes,
it's very, very, like what? Yeah, here, there and everywhere, no.
It's sort of a bit, I know it's to do with rights and various other things, and don't get me wrong, getting on streaming is one thing, but you've got to have a reason for people to seek it out, in the first place.
Exactly. So I think, as I say, like summing it all up, I mean, as you say, we're definitely happy about the rate of releases. As you say, that is a good thing, and things are coming much more quickly now, and that's great. But as you say, we need more transparency. We need to know what's going on. We need a plan. We need those live releases. And as we say, just from that small chasm of people, I mean, the Facebook page has got 50,000. I'd love to know if everyone had voted, or like that many people, what the vote would have been. But just from almost 500 people, you get 75% are not happy. So that speaks volumes. So they got to engage us. They got to, we've got to get these numbers turned around the other way. We want to be happy with what's coming out. They're brilliant. Yeah, I mean,
I know it's difficult in terms of everybody. You talk to 100 Prince fans.
You're never going to please.
And I understand that. I think there's certain things, but I think there's still a lot of things we could do to. But I think it's all about how much the estate just kind of takes those things. If they, from what I've heard from Celebration, if they sort of follow that line of taking on board what people say and having the event, asking for feedback, perhaps with releases, perhaps, and the thing is, you can also, I just said to people, you can go on the prince.com website and you can give them feedback. There's a feedback little box, and you can actually give them feedback. So if you've got a suggestion for them, send it in. I mean, I'm not saying, they're going to say, right, stop the first list, I'll do that. But,
no, but at least it's giving them an idea of what,
if people do that, then it gives them an idea, a bit of feedback on what people want, and in terms of, what sort of products that they do want. So I think that's,
Yeah, so it's small steps at the moment, kind of going in the right direction a little bit, but a lot of work still to be done.
Yeah, I hopefully, I honestly, I think this is going to be the most interesting time because I think, hopefully the legal stuff will settle down and we'll get into a situation where we can really start to push it. And I think I honestly think in a weird way, I think Prince's legacy, in one way it's already been written by all he's done, but in terms of the things that are beyond his control and things that sort of, need to happen, the next sort of 3 to 5 years really are going to be the crucial time. So I think we need to
I agree.
increase those people, otherwise we will just come to the point where we're losing that kind of legacy. But I don't know, you obviously how without going completely obscure, is how with the Michael Jackson set, are they did they handle it in a quite a different way, or are they were they sort of
there wasn't a lot really, I mean, obviously there was the messing about, wasn't there, with Sony and the not Michael singing and all that malarkey.
Yes,
a lot of controversy going on there, but I don't think there wasn't a lot of material left behind, I think, by Michael Jackson. Obviously not like Prince. I think there was only a couple of albums, wasn't there, forever? I can't remember the names of them now. Terrible.
I think that's the thing you say, like say, in some ways, this is unprecedented in terms of the vault. There's been nobody really who's had a vault this size behind. So you need a proper curator to really go through that, and it's a big responsibility, and it's a very difficult. And everybody has their own opinion, and
I mean, I would say, so just thinking of Michael Jackson, I would say that obviously you've still got the stage shows. There's Thriller Live, and there's the Cirque du Soleil thing that they're doing. You've got that Navi guy who's he was endorsed by Michael and met him, had all the surgery, looks like him. Why would you want to do that? not in the later years. I mean, Michael was very handsome as when he was a young black guy, up to bad, dangerous. But anyway, whatever. He goes around and performs, and he gets sellouts all the time still. So that's kind of promoting it as well. And obviously, Michael's videos all got billions of views, whatever, millions of views on YouTube, don't they? I think there's an official, a Vivo channel, isn't there?
I mean, it's huge numbers. Huge. That's quite interesting to me, because although Michael Jackson very much a visual artist, and the Prince was in terms of those videos. I think because, like I say, Prince is off YouTube for so long, he's got this catching up to do. But the first thing, like I say, is to get as many videos out as possible. And then there must be loads in the vault. Then there has to be.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I was watching last night. I was watching the Prince YouTube channel. watching the old videos, binge watching it like I did as a teenager. I did put a tweet out about that. I said, reminds me of watching the old hits B-sides on VHS. I used to, all those, used to just watch it. That's what I used to do. You was a young man, teenager, just sit and watch all the live concerts over and over, and the videos over and over.
I wore out my Love Sexy. My Love Sexy wore out. I lost the whole kind of piano bit.
Oh dear. But watching it last night, and I'm just like, there could be so much more they could add to this, but there you go. What can we do?
I'm a kind of, I don't know, I think slightly optimistic, 6 out of 10. I think we're kind of improving. I think we're improving. I just think we need to really focus on getting the stuff that hasn't been. We need to get all the stuff that's been released, obviously, out there and available. The stuff that hasn't been released, the stuff that the live shows particularly. I think we really need to push. New DVD tours and those kind of things. I think. But that's. We'll keep asking.
we'll keep asking, and will this be the last rant video? I wonder. Will next time we come on, and we'll be so happy, and
we have everything. We can't.
We're happy.
We haven't got to store it. We can't even store all the stuff that we got.
There's so much of it, and I'm so happy because I haven't got to keep buying red M&Ms from Mr. Purple Music now, and you haven't got to keep mowing his purple lawn and what have you.
And
he's just hit the thumbs down.
He's done it so many times. He says he's logging in a different name.
Yeah. How many dislikes can I give those bastards?
I think that you got to think that there's still people we get on our YouTube channel who are new to Prince, who say, I had one the other day, I only got into Prince after 2016. I've just and somebody who just left a message said they'd only just got into Prince 2016 and they were going through the albums in order and they were actually really trying to take it in, so they're spending quite a lot of time with each album, and I'm incredibly jealous of that journey, to have that journey to go through, but B, I think it's fantastic that people really are still finding it. We just need to make it so omnipresent in every avenue, so more people just kind of have that gateway, so if they see Prince and they like it, then we can kind of bring it in.
We need to know that it's going to be there forever and in safe hands. So I think on that note we'll bring this rant part 3 to an end. It's been an MPG trio. I still call ourselves a trio. We're not calling ourselves a duo. He was still here. He's watching. He's part of this. we love you, man.
It's throwing things at the screen at the moment.
It's right, yeah. He's calling us every name under the sun, but he knows he loves us. So, but never say never, mate. Yeah. But this has been the MPG Trio reviews. Not a review today, but a rant, and we will be back very soon. Keep it purple.